crafty friends, Kim from Stamping and Perfection. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my craft room. Today I'm playing with Stampin' Up's Ocean Friends Suite and I'm loving this. This is probably the first thing in the new release from January 7th that I knew that is going in my cart. And I love this. It's lobsters and crabs and a little bit of seaweed, some ocean bubbles. There's some coordinating dies that you can get with it. Here you can see I've already been playing with this. Quite a few little sentiments here, and then you get some dies, and some of these coordinate. There are a couple of extras. You get a little starfish cluster right there, and you get this big seaweed, and I'm assuming these are also some kind of seaweed or kelp, and then this little wave die for a border. What a fun card front that would make. I love this. I love it. I love the colors. I love everything about it. Now, the suite also has some embellishments, and these are called Sunny Day Iridescent Dots. Aren't they gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. So I will definitely be adding a few of those to my card. And then, of course, there's a nice 3D embossing folder that goes along with it. And I believe this is called the Waves 3D embossing folder. I haven't played with this yet. I have a whole bunch of embossing techniques I want to play with that I haven't done in a while, so there will be some videos there coming out. But here's the paper. You can see I've already dug into the paper. I discovered that I really love that new in color Ocean Splash with this paper pack. It's one of the colors in the pack, but you can see you get two each of each design here. This is my favorite. That's going to be a scrapbook layout. And these two pieces of paper, actually you can cut these crabs and lobsters out with the dies in the set. And then there's a smaller version with lots more sea creatures in it. And I can tell you, I loved it immediately. My husband is a fisherman. My kids love water-related activities. We live near the water, not on the water, but near the water. So, you know, it's always been a part of everyone's lives here. So, love it. Love it, love it. I think the colors are super fun. And I have a fun project to share with you. I participated in this. Stampin' Up has these events called Creative Connections or Creating Connections for their new demonstrators. Actually, any demonstrator can watch it. It doesn't matter how long you've been a Stampin' Up demonstrator, but I love them because they're very good for new people like me. And I learned so much from them a couple times a week, 2 or 3 times a week, in fact. They have these live videos where people from their team share information with us and show us how to do things, not just crafting wise, but business wise. And I get so many ideas for crafting as well. And then if you participate and do the call to action and fill out an online form for 4 of the events every quarter, you get invited to a virtual crafting night where we get to see sneak peeks. We get to, you know, craft along with them. They have a mystery stamping event, and this was made from their mystery stamping event. So I wanted to share this because I thought this was such a great project. And it is actually a gift card holder right here. You can see you can slide a gift card in just like that. And I love it. You got this little pocket here. So I wanted to show you how to make this. So this is what I'm going to make today. Let's get our cards started here. So to start with, I've cut 2 pieces. One is a piece of this beautiful summer splash color. I absolutely love this with this bright paper. I felt kind of meh about the in colors this year, but now that I'm actually using them for projects, I'm really realizing how much I like them. So this is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2. Now, For this particular card, to create that pocket, one of the things you need to do here is to cut from the, we're going to cut 1 inch on the right hand side. So I'm lining it up with the 1 inch mark on this side. And then I'm going to move my scoring blade out of the way, and then I'm just going to cut up to that score line. And I'm just going to line up this little mark on the side of the blade with that score line right there. And I could kind of feel it hit the line. So it looks like this. Now, I made the mistake of cutting this off when I was pre-cutting my stuff for the event, but you're supposed to leave that flap on there. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for just a minute, and then I'm going to make the inside of the card, and then we'll create the pocket. All right, so I've got a piece cut at 4. This is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I like this blue paper, or this summer splash paper, so much. I want to see a little bit of it around the edge of my card, I decided. The person who showed this card made hers the exact same size as the back, so she cut hers at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I just took 1/8 off, so I did 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So the first colors that I'm going to play with are Summer Splash and Lemon Lime Twist. So I just want to create the inside of my card, and a little decoration makes the inside of your card feel extra special. So I'm going to add this little seaweed. This is Lemon Lime Twist. And then I'm going to add some of the bubbles in the Summer Splash. So I'm just going to add a few of these. You can add as many as you want. You can add them around the card if you want to. Super fun, just to give your card a little decoration on the inside. So the next step is to glue this down. Ugh, I've forgotten that red nail polish really, you have to be so careful when you're card making and you've got dark nail polish on, especially the reds. Doesn't ever seem to happen with green. It's weird. All right. So I'm just leaving myself a little border, and I kind of want to try to get it even all around. So let me make sure I do that. There we go. So I've got that. Now I'm going to take my glue. I'm just going to add a little thin row of glue all around the 3 outside edges of the pocket there, just like that. And then I'm going to bring this down and glue it to the inside of the card. And I want to make sure that it's lined up with the edge of the card, because if it overhangs the edge of the card a little bit, then when you fold this down, you're going to have a big old gap there. So you want to be careful that it's lined up, and then give your glue a little press, and that's that. Now I've cut a couple pieces of this designer series paper, the Ocean Friends designer series paper. Isn't this pretty? And I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to use the stripes here on the back, and I'm going to add this with some glue. Right on the back here. So I'm going to line this up, and I want it to be just a little below the fold on the top, so I just cut it like a 1/16 too small. And again, check that it's even on the side like that. And I'm just going to give this a good press, and then when I close this, I have no gap. So that makes me happy. Because can you guess, the first time I made it, there was a gap. This piece is cut at 3 by 5 1/2, so it's the exact size of the front. And I'm going to open this up and lay it down because I do better getting things straight when the card is open, I've discovered. There we go. And there, that is our card base. So we can open this up and we can test it out and make sure our pocket's working for the gift card. So there we are. All right, now one other thing I'm going to do before I move on to doing my stamping is I've got this natural linen thread. I'm just going to wrap it around here twice and just tie a little bow off to the side. And I can always make it smaller or slightly bigger, so I'll leave a little bit of extra twine. I love the natural twine with the ocean theme papers. Whenever I'm making like beach layouts or cards or projects of any kind, I actually really like to have a natural element like some jute or twine like that. So I actually think that's really a fun thing to do. So I've got a piece of scrap paper here. I've also got a piece that I cut down to 1/2 inch, and I made it like 4 1/4. That's definitely going to get cut down, but it's a 1/2 inch wide because the sentiment I want to use, the Hello Friend sentiment, is actually at least a 1/2 inch wide, or slightly under a 1/2 inch wide, I should say. All right, the next set of colors I want to use the Berry Burst. I'm going to use the Pumpkin Pie for the sentiment and the Melon Mambo. The Calypso Coral and the Pumpkin Pie I used when I did my crab, when I was just experimenting to see what it looked like, and I thought it was adorable. But the lobster is pretty big, so the lobster is the one that I'm going to use on the card. You could do a couple of crabs if you wanted to. So I'm taking the solid stamp, and I've already used this. Before I use these solid stamps, I rub it on my arm or my jeans or, whatever, to condition the stamp. Just like this. I'm going to ink this up, and then I'm going to stamp this. And I'm just holding it for a few seconds just so the ink has time to soak into the paper. Here we go. Ooh. So definitely closing that up. And then I'm bringing in the Berry Burst. This is Berry Burst. So these are 2 colors that they list on the back of the paper package. This is the outline part of the stamp, and I try not to get my head in the camera view, but I really sort of want to get this lined up. I don't know if I got this lined up well enough. Oh, that's not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut this out. I did get the die cuts. I splurged on the die cuts. And so one of the reasons I splurged on the die cuts is because they have a lot of these extra little things, and I love that. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to line it up and die cut this out. Okay, I've got this piece all cut. Let's go ahead and do the sentiment. And for this one, I'm using Pumpkin Pie. You could use any of the colors that you wanted to. You could use black if you prefer. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. And again, hold it down without rocking, just so it has time to soak in. There we go, that's all my stamping. And I'm going to take, I've got this Happy Labels punch, and since one of the sizes that fits in here is 1/2 inch. This is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead, and it gives a fun little edge. So I wish I had one of these that made a banner edge. I don't have that one. So I'm going to cut this one off a little bit. So it's about the same length as the other end. I'm going to do the same thing for this. And since I'm using one of the actual sizes, which is 1/2, 3/4, and 1, it actually fits perfectly. And I still peek at the back to make sure I've got it in there correctly, and now I've got that all done. So I love this. Love, love, love. There's a second one that punches out what looks like a ticket, and that's pretty fun for scrapbooking. So, you know, I'm all about using all my things for all my crafting. So I'm going to put a couple of these Stampin' Dimensionals on the ends of this, and then I'm going to put a few on the back of the lobster. This is probably the most I'll ever use on something, because I'm pretty frugal with my Stampin' Dimensionals. Alright, so now I can put the rest of my card together. And I've got a circle. This is a 2.5 inch circle. I have a 2.5 inch circle punch that I've had for a very long time, so I used that to punch this out. The person demonstrating this card in the virtual event was using a 2 3/4 inch circle, so I actually think I like this more up toward the center. So I'm gonna sort of shimmy this up a little bit, because once I stick this down with a glue on it, it will be stuck. So put it up toward the center, and I'm going to also try to shimmy my bow over a tiny bit, a smudge. There we go. Might have to fix up my bow at the end there. And there we go. That's more like it. I'm just going to give this a good push. You could use dimensionals on the back of that if you wanted to. Then I'm going to add now I'm taking off the dimensional backings and I'm putting the lobster on. Isn't he adorable? My husband and my son both like to dive for lobsters. They've got lobster permits, and they'll go scuba diving for lobsters. And it's pretty fun. It's very fun to eat lobsters that they caught. Alright, so I'm going to add my sentiment. And hopefully I'm getting that fairly straight. It looks pretty good. And the last thing, of course, is to add the embellishments on. And I love this Summer Splash color so much that I definitely want to use a couple of those. So I'll add a couple of those. There we go. These are huge. They are very big and very high. I love them. And what a fun set of colors. Super cute. I love this card. I thought it was a really fun one for them to share. And how easy was that? And you've got a little gift card holder. I should have left this in there. Just like that. And you have room to write a message. You could stamp a greeting if you wanted to. But there you go. Super easy. Perfect for you know, masculine or feminine. I think it's a great card for a kid. And, you know, you can change up the sentiment if you're doing congratulations or something like that. So that's pretty fun. I hope you enjoyed this. I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And I would love it if you are interested in making a purchase of any of these Ocean Friends goodies, or all of the Ocean Friends goodies, or any other of the new products Stampin' Up! Just released on January 7th. You can do that online at shopwithkim.net. So thanks for watching, friends. Have a wonderful day.